Ivan, what are these blankets doing here?
We're gonna do a half and half on this vehicle. Hi, I'm Ivan.
I'm Nick, and I have a lot of questions.
This is DIY Detail. What we're gonna be doing, this is a pre-sale detail. We're gonna show you, the other side looks just the same as this. We're just gonna detail this side of it to start off with, and then show you the difference between what an hour or two can make, and also what difference it makes in your pocketbook when you go to trade it in.
A pre-sale detail will get you more if you're selling your car. Hands down, no questions asked. A couple of things that really stick out to me here. We've got incredibly faded yellowing headlights.
Right.
I don't know how much effort is worth putting in there, but that's something that will make a big pop. We got water spots all over the hood here. It's faded paint, and it is going to be so apparent the difference once we do half the car.
Right. The other thing is the bumper needs to be repainted. That is something that's out of our realm, and it's the same on both sides. So obviously this person would have really benefited from parking sensors.
Yeah.
There's a few dents, there's a few scratches. The dents are something that if you can have that done before trading it in, you're gonna pay much less than the amount that's gonna be reduced from your invoice.
What does that mean?
Meaning that, let's say it costs you $200 to have the dent repaired, well, the dealership is probably going to dock you $500 on the return of this. And if you're trying to sell it yourself on Marketplace or Craigslist or someplace like that, if your car is the cleanest one someone sees, which one are they going to buy? They're going to be willing to pay more for yours because it's clean. It looks well maintained.
So you will get a return on investment. You hopefully believe us by this point. Ivan, why don't you tell us what we're gonna do? We're
gonna do this very easily. Because I don't wanna get that side of the car wet, we're gonna go 100% rinseless. So I'm gonna start here. I'm gonna pre-soak with the rinseless. Now the pre-soaking with the rinseless is breaking down the dirt that's on the surface. It's emulsifying it and encapsulating it. I wanna spray towards me. And if you don't have one of these kegs, well, they're a lot of fun to have. If you're a professional detailer, you need one. If you're a hobbyist, you might really enjoy having one. And we'll put a link in the description where you can pick one up.
People are gonna say, this guy's washing a car without a hose?
We're washing without a hose.
Get out of here with that nonsense.
So Nick, in our bucket, we have our rinseless wash at 256 to 1. We just want to squeeze it out so it's on the verge of dripping. And since this vehicle is really, really gritty, it may leave just a few more drips in there. I'm going to start with the black side.
You feel that under your sponge? I can hear it.
Oh, we can hear the grit. And since I'm going to be decontaminating with the towel, I'm going to flip the sponge and do the same section with a sponge. That way, I'm sure I'm picking up all the loose dirt on there. So the double side of the sponge gives us a visual cue as to where we are and what we're doing. Start with the black. Get everything nice and clean, and then just make sure we're eliminating any extra grit with the red side. The pre-rinsing with the keg took care of a lot of that for us.
It really did.
And then you can follow behind with this.
Are we using any iron remover or no? Because we don't have we're not introducing a hose. So this is, talk about efficiency. We're using our decontamination towel with the bed of rinseless wash. Oh my goodness, this is gritty, Ivan.
Yeah.
This is gritty. Can you guys hear that? I'm not using any pressure though, that's the thing. I'm just letting the repetition of my movements and the lubricity of the rinseless wash help to lift embedded contaminants from the paint into the pores of our decontamination towel. But holy cow, let's see if a fresh side makes a difference.
Yeah, I don't think this car has ever been decontaminated.
Are we gonna polish this after?
Yes, we are.
Okay, good. The sound and the feel of the contaminants is starting to go away though, with just no pressure passes. I could sit here all day if I wanted to, I suppose, but I'm not going to, because we're getting great results, and the polish step is going to help a lot after this. You'd think the impulse here would be to be putting pressure on it, but I'm not going to do it.
No, the less pressure you put, the better the towel works.
We have 4 sides from this towel, so I usually use 1 side per panel. I didn't need to redunk for that reason. I just wanted more rinseless wash for lubrication to kind of squeeze out of my towel here. I bet you this car's had an interesting history, Ivan.
Most Priuses do.
Oh yeah? How so?
Yeah, they're just a car that,
You know, a lot of people are very enthusiastic about their Prius,
but a lot of people buy it strictly as an appliance. It's one of those cars that sort of has that vibe to it.
Not always like a car lover's car, more of a useful tool.
Yeah.
I know what you mean.
Some people have called this the refrigerator of cars.
but once you get to know them, they're actually a fun little car. They're comfortable.
Spacers. Some people actually camp in these. Now, Nick, I'm gonna help you out here because
Okay. Speaking of camping, I've just been camping out on this paint and just letting the towel decontaminate. It's taken a while, not because I'm not working hard, not because the towel doesn't work great, but because this paint is so thrashed that I'm just trying to be as gentle as I can and thorough at the same time. It is important to decontaminate before you polish the paint.
Definitely. Because all this grit that we're feeling here, if we don't decontaminate, we're still gonna feel it after we polish. So Nick, one interesting thing about this vehicle, and most hybrids or electric vehicles, they have regenerative braking. Meaning that you probably notice there's not that much brake dust down the side.
That's true.
So from here, if you want to grab a drying towel, start drying at the front end.
All right, guys, so this is usually the step where you'd be applying some protection, like ceramic gloss, as a drying aid. We're not gonna do that yet though, because we are gonna polish this paint.
Right, we're gonna polish it with the gold standard polish. Already we made a really big difference on this paint. Let's lift this up, just so you can see. We have brightness now.
What?
Yeah.
I like it.
So, let's put this towel back down.
That's a teaser, guys, for what's about to happen.
Just a teaser. Now you're gonna be using the 21mm dual action machine with our gold standard waffle pad. Always start with a clean, damp pad. Gonna go about halfway, speed 3, and with no pressure on the machine, polish this surface. What we're going to be doing next is actually saving some time. But I just want to show you what we've accomplished without putting any ceramic gloss on there. Nick mentioned ceramic gloss that we'd be using as a drying aid. Well, we are going to be using it as a drying aid, but after the polishing step. So what we're doing, just to make the polish much easier to wipe off. And there's detailers out there saying, why didn't you put a tape line on it? Well, tape lines, especially on battered paint like this, they can end up, let's say, biting you where you don't want to be bitten. So I'm not gonna leave a hard line. So we've increased the gloss dramatically. Is the paint perfect? No. Is it nice from 5 feet away? Yes. Is it gonna look great in the sun? Of course. That's what we're after.
The goal here is to empower someone at home to do this in a short amount of time and get the kind of results that are going to get them more money. So
Exactly.
If you're a detailing enthusiast or someone who's just learning, this is a very doable method.
So what we're going to be doing a little differently though is I'm just going to give this one quick little polish, and then Nick is going to be wiping off behind me using the Rinseless dampened towel and the dry towel with ceramic gloss. So Nick, can you see a difference in clarity between the two doors?
Yes.
Which one would you rather buy?
I'm going for this one all the way.
Yeah. Now Nick, the keen observers may have noticed we didn't do the front bumper.
Oh yeah?
Well, there's a reason for that. I also want to attack the headlight. Now, I switched to our wool pad. Wool pad is more aggressive than the foam pad. We're going to be able to clean up this headlight. We're going to make it new? No, but we're going to make it significantly better.
We're not using sandpaper, but the wool has significant cut for sure.
Right.
Ready for the wipe off?
Yep. So is the headlight perfectly clear? No. There are kits you can buy at the auto parts store that will have what you need to restore your headlights. You're given a bit of an improvement, but those kits can be sometimes expensive. So you can also find a professional detailer that will be able to do it. Or if you want to do it yourself, again, kits are available, or start sanding. And sanding, it's something out of the realm of a lot of do-it-yourselfers. So finally, we'll do the front bumper, and then the big reveal.
Come to put the finishing touches on it, Ivan. Drum roll, please.
So which side would you rather purchase? So on this side, we still have embedded water spots. This side is a lot worse. And if we look at the bumper, we'll see a significant improvement from one side to the other. When we go over on the roof, same thing. Not only is there dirt there, but the roof is really gritty and this side is nice and smooth now. And one big place of improvement that everyone will notice is the rear spoiler. Now it's not just because it's dirty, it's also because it was polished and cleaned up. The back bumper, same thing, we can definitely see a difference. Now, if you want to make an even bigger improvement, yes, you can spend a little more time. Maybe do it as a two-step with the wool pad and the foam pad. But as a quick pre-sale detail, this is something that's going to get you at least $500 more for your vehicle. When you go to turn it in, when you go to return it, or when you go to sell it privately, this looks a lot better.
And when you make that extra money, you're going to go ahead and donate that to the DIY Detail Super Thanks Fund on the YouTube channel where you just watch this. No, it's hopefully you get some value out of this video.
Yeah.
You didn't even need to use a hose for this method, Ivan.
No.
And you get real results. It's gonna photograph better. It's visually, I would say, a 35 to 40% improvement on headlights that you didn't sand.
Yeah.
This method certainly works, guys, and we hope you found value. If you did, subscribe to the channel and keep watching, because this video is a deeper dive into what you can do with a polisher.